Welcome to Seeker Session. To our Army Special, we are here today, joined today with the leading commanders and officers that have inspired their men in the line of combat. These are leaders where they have influenced men like us to strive for greatness. These are our commanders and officers that motivate men to fight for a purpose and defend with our heart. It's an honor for me to introduce them on Seeker Session. Commanders and officers from 769 SIR Bravo Company.
Bravo.
Yeah, bravo. Hooah. Sorry for the long intro. This is my nature, just to give a very grand entrance for all our show.
Very nice. Especially for Bravo.
Yeah, bravo. Hooah. Okay, welcome to Seeker Session. Today I'm joined with my beloved commanders and officers from 769 SIR Bravo Company. So allow me to introduce our guest speakers for today. First of all, on my right, this Abang Handsome. We have this Abang Handsome in Mandarin. How to say? Wah, don't play. We have PC Glendon here with us. Yeah,
nice to see you.
And right across me, my own PC, my beloved PC.
Not handsome.
He's not handsome, but to be honest, he's cute lah. Cute and adorable lah.
Good enough. Next best thing.
Okay, we have here with us PC5, which is PC Dan. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Yes. And yes, on his right, we have with us a commander from the 84mm platoon, right, from HQ, our beloved, our most garang, our power speaker, Sergeant Adrian. Yay!
Thanks,
How are you, Sergeant?
All good, man.
All good, man. I'm really blessed today, because being joined with all of you, because it's not easy to gather us like this in one session. Usually we meet up during ICT, we meet up during whatever army events, right? So it's good. It's a good thing for us to and I have to send out my gratitude first for you all to be part of this Seekers Session show, because you all take up a lot of you have to make rooms with your schedule just to fill up to this show actually. So actually before we go into this topic, just to share to our viewers and listeners out there that Seeker Session here, we are doing an army special actually, right? So the first round we did with the men and commanders from Platoon 6. So this today we will discuss more on the leadership of the army, right? So I would like to pose a first question actually. See who's the lucky guy.
No one want to volunteer.
Okay, actually this first question is not like a very bonus question or golden question lah. It's basically we want to share your army experience, right? We want you all to share your army experience to our listeners and our viewers. So maybe I start with PC Glenn first. Okay. So I mean, you yourself have been in this army uniform for nearly coming to 15 years, sir.
Yep.
Am I right to say that? Right. So I believe your army journey have started at a certain point in your life. So maybe can you recall back when is the first day when you really enter army, and do you really see yourself when that time that you're going to be an officer, right? So maybe you can share us some. Maybe you can bring us back to that. Maybe 2006,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can give us some light on that, sir.
Okay, so I enlisted in 2006. I think most of us here around the same time, 2006, 2007, plus minus. Actually, I never expected myself to become an officer.
Okay.
Even during BMT, I thought, if I ever become a commander, just be, I'll just probably be a spec. and that's it.
Okay.
In terms of leadership, if you talk about the journey, during active days, I wouldn't consider that I've stepped up to the leadership role actually. I would consider myself just a commander. So when you say commander, I mean I just have a rank. SAF give me that rank. I have that authority to command people. So I consider myself a commander. But if you talk about leadership, I think I learned it much later. Much later on, probably after we ORD, we go to...
After ORD, sir?
Yeah.
So that means your 2 years during your active days, definitely when after you pass out from your OCS, that back then it was called as Officer Cadet School, right?
Yeah, correct.
So you were posted to 4SR, which is our unit.
Right.
Then you were posted to you were appointed as a platoon 4 as platoon commander for platoon 4. So it takes you even after ORD for you to actually learn about the traits of being a leader.
I don't think at least for when at the point I was 18, 19 years old.
Oh, you were 18 back then. Oh, okay, I see. Sweet 18, huh?
Around that age, right? 18 to 20 something. So I think at the age, as a young second left at that point, I don't think there was enough maturity to consider that I had the leadership skills. So
I see.
a lot of times it was just telling people, hey, do this. Training us to do this.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it, okay, knock it down. No. I got a rank. I play rank. No.
Yeah.
That was the
initial
kind of initial. Because after all, at 18 years old, I think we're not mature enough.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really understand what my guys were going through, and probably they also didn't understand what I had to do.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a lot of years after that during our ICT years, where we are all a bit more matured. Now we've had a bit more life experience. Then I think I could better motivate and empathize them. And likewise, my guys also could see like where I was coming from now with certain instructions. So from there, then we start to build this command and non-command relationship. Then that's where I started to grow more in terms of leadership skills.
Wow, that's interesting. To actually go in great detail of officer's journey,
the mindset,
mentality, and growth as an individual. So maybe I would like to pose the same question to my beloved PC Dan. By the way, for our listeners and viewers out there, PC Dan Sharil is my platoon commander for platoon 5. So I knew him since 2007.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've been long time together, man.
Ups and downs.
I cannot tekan whatever all man, for me it's a blissful journey lah, and to walk through this journey with my own PC. So again, to get more insights about his journey in the army career, maybe PC Dan, maybe you can also enlighten us and bring us back to your good old days when you first start to be enlisted to BMTC. Tekong, yeah.
So I think I was the same batch as Brandon. So 2006, I enlisted to the army. Orion company in BMTC 2. And yeah, I think quite similar to Glenn. I didn't really have the whole idea of, okay, I'm going to be an officer after this. It's more of like, I mean, you remember there was a form where you express interest whether you want to go to command school.
Right.
So I think as a default, everyone just put yes. I mean, they didn't really give a lot of thought to whether am I actually going to get it or not.
Is it optional or obligatory for you to fill up that form, sir?
Yeah, everyone
had to fill it up.
Okay. Maybe walk through us on that.
So when I think the announcement came, the result came that I was posted to the officer cadet school, I was a bit, I don't know, maybe not much feeling, or maybe it just hit you that okay, so I got my choice. And I think at that point of time, it was also a bit surprising because I was always kind of I don't know, I tend to avoid limelight or attention a lot. I mean, that's my character. So my initial feeling was, okay, it's going to be quite tough for me because I needed to break out of character. I mean, as an officer, I guess.
Yeah.
After that, cadet school. And I think the important thing to highlight about cadet school is that it doesn't really teach you a lot of soft skills on like how to be a leader. It was more of imparting to you the kind of skills you need as a platoon commander. So a lot of it was hard skills.
Hard skills meaning what, sir? what kind of hard skills that you are
I mean the
mentioning here?
strategy, the military knowledge like navigation and so
Okay.
on. So and yeah, similar when we went to unit, I think I would say it's the same for me as Glendon. Like the whole 2 years was more of like a learning and development journey rather than okay, I'm here to be a platoon commander. Because at the end of the day, we're also NSF, right?
Yeah.
We are still 18, young and dumb. So
Don't say
a
that.
lot of it was.
I totally
I mean, there's Glendon's face.
Okay.
So a lot of it was learning on the job. And I remember the first thing I think that will stick to every commander's mind, right, is the first time that they meet their platoon. So for me, you start to rehearse a lot of things. Okay, I'm meeting my platoon for the first time. I mean, you guys don't know lah, but for us, we like.
But I see you
What
very,
are you gonna say?
I see you very, very chai like very power say.
He has to look the part, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I mean, there was grow a bit. There was actually a lot of thinking and rehearsing in your mind in terms of what is the first impression that you want to give your platoon.
I see.
Yeah, so I guess everyone.
Do you get a good outcome, sir?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I guess it's for you guys to answer. We were there, right? I think the first time.
I can still recall. I can still recall the first time we get to meet our, because we are quite nervous actually, because right after the Taiwan trip, because the appointment of I would say not reappointment or maybe the transition, right?
The transition
From the first year PC,
First year commanders to
first year PC to the second year PC happened right after the Taiwan trip. I still remember this, right? So, and we saw a very big group of new officers, right, that come in. So again, like we men, we want to show our garang side lah. Definitely. Say, hey, you all are fresh cadets, okay? Also fresh officers, okay? There's just post out from OCS.
Right.
So definitely, I as a man, I want to show my garangness. Definitely. Sekali get to see this one of PC that come in, one schoolboy, cute. Wow, this one PC then, very cute. But in the end, we it take us quite some time, few months, about 1 month, 2 months for us to get adapt with our own PC. And for us men, especially for me, men, we feel regardless who are going to lead us, right? We always see men, our leaders, right, that is leading us, there at the forefront, willing to be there side by side with us. If we see that in our platoon commander or even our commanders itself, definitely me as men, I will strive for them. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So this is something that for me very special. I put this topic, put this experience close to my heart, because army experience is very special. I mean, I believe Sergeant Adrian also can agree with me. So maybe we want to also give this opportunity for Sergeant Adrian to share with our viewers and our listeners, right, the special journey that you went through during your army days, right? Since day one, when you step into the BMTC, then after that, transiting to become an 84 commander.
Right. I recall going to Tekong Jaguar Company. I think like all of us, when your first day you're enlisted, you have no idea what's going on. You know, they don't tell you I don't think they even tell you will you be a leadership badge or not. You just go through like a month or two, then comes that white form which you have to fill in to see if you're keen on leadership. I ticked it, yes, I was keen. So after BMT, got posted to CISPAC. Back then, CISPAC was still in Tekong. So there's BSLC and ASLC. So in BSLC and ASLC, right, they kind of tell you you're going to be a spec, and being a spec from day one of training, you know you're going to be like that hamburger patty, right, between men and officers, you know.
Wow, Sergeant, the way to elaborate, the way the three of you describe your BMTC experience is like okay got positive but mainly I hear like a lot of negative there.
No. Don't get me wrong, it's not negative in any way. So being in the middle, you kind of they kind of tell you beforehand that look, you are a commander, you have to do whatever up there tells you to do, you got to deliver, at the same time, you're going to manage like these 6 guys below you.
Wow.
So you have to be able to adapt to both the upper and the lower command.
Maybe can I put it more like in a way where during your time in BMTC, you kena tekan, all that tekan session is all for a reason, for you to be prepared for your future posting actually.
Yes, definitely. It wasn't the easiest training, I have to say, but it really came to use when they put us into the unit, the 769. Because when we, after CISPEC, when I went in, there was a batch of mono before ours. So they were already like veteran men, just like you. When you said you see like new commanders come in, we could see it in their eyes like fresh meat, guys. Give it to them. And it really didn't help because back then the CSM Encik Voon, right in front of all of us.
Legendary.
I remember it was an evening, it was like a debrief or something. Right in front of all of us, he told his guys like, these guys are new. Don't show them any mercy, you know. If they want respect, they have to earn it.
Wow.
So day one, when we were put into the unit, that was what we were told by our Encik, and we knew we had a lot to do. And it wasn't easy. Yeah. But it's a learning journey.
Wow.
Slowly but surely, we work with the men and.
I always believe this man in the army, being in the army, when you encounter, when you get the opportunity to meet up with all these great individual like Encik Voon.
Oh yeah, legend,
yeah, a legend in the army. And I believe when when during our 12 mono active days, he was the CSM for support company. And right there and there, I can see, wow, this guy, he has character, man. And I think relating to Sergeant Adrian story when Encik Voon say, do not give them any mercy, right? They have to earn their respect. That shows a lot of how much you earn, how much you have to earn for that 3 stripes, right? Or how much
and above,
or how much you have to earn to be a leader itself, right? Maybe we want to open up this as a discussion, right? Of being a leader and earning your rights of being a leader, right? Because I think it's not just being appointed. You have to show a certain value of you to lead your own platoon, right? Maybe PC Glenn, maybe you can give some a bit of your own experience. Man, like you said, right? It take you after ORD for you to develop your leadership skills towards your men. Maybe through that journey, maybe you can elaborate further on that.
Okay. I think just to maybe I think all 3 of us here, while we became commanders, I don't think we were actually that confident or aware that we were put into that role. Dan said, by default, Singaporean kiasu want to be commander, take first, think later. Then when you get it, then when I step into force, I'm like, wow, now I'm really I'm supposed to lead lah. It's one thing to be just a cadet, a trainee. Everyone is motivated. Everyone wants to eventually commission as officer. Versus you go in, then you're going to spend the next 1.5 years with this whole bunch of guys. And one thing I failed to realize then, which was probably why I wasn't that effective during active days, was I failed to realize that these guys are put in a position like mostly mono intake guys like yourself. When you're put in a position where you don't have a chance to improve yourself. That was one thing I realized was very unfair because for us, we go BMT. We have a chance to become sergeant. We have a chance to become officer. So we can build our journey. But for a lot of you guys, unfairly, you get put into the unit. You're stuck there. Lucky or not, you're a rifleman.
Correct.
Lucky or not, the best you can go is corporal. And a lot of you all have leadership potential that's not recognized. So that was something I failed to recognize as well during that period. So I just tell, why you so unmotivated? CEO tell you to do lah. We're all just here to finish 2 years. But I failed to realize that I'm at slightly elevated position compared to y'all. So my motivation is higher.
Great.
For you guys, do well, don't do well.
Men still be men.
In that sense, you don't get to progress. Right. So why would you do it? So I think sometimes I was a bit too unsympathetic to my guys. So you talk about leadership. I think the first thing you need to do is empathize the people in your command.
Does it boils down to communication, sir? Man, since you bring up about this.
Communication, yes, but I think communication is art itself. without building your own empathy.
Yeah.
I can talk to you all day, no. But if I don't empathize you, I'm just gonna say, hey, Dra, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't get you lah. You're just not doing your job. I can just eventually just shoot you down like that.
I see.
But if I internally empathize with like, okay, Indra's going through a bad time, or there's some challenges in his life that is affecting his performance in the army. I think I'll be better able to motivate you. Like, okay, I know what you have family problems.
Yeah.
Can let you go out tonight.
Yeah.
But you promise me you come back, then you do well for the rest of the week. But that's something I couldn't understand when I was an active PC lah.
Yeah, correct.
So only like when you start working, you start talking to people, you realize there's a whole host of challenges out there. Everyone has problems.
Wow.
Then you realize, when I go work, I'm also a junior worker at that point. So if my boss understands me, then I'm like, okay, this is a good boss.
Yeah.
So I try to take that practice, then in ICT, develop it lah.
Wow.
So in terms of leadership, I think that's one thing you have to take note of.
Wow, man. For us men, we know PC Glenn as the platoon commander of Platoon 4. For me, I as from Platoon 5 and a man from Platoon 6, we look up to you as like really. We look up to you as one man. Besides our own PCs, we do acknowledge and give that credit to officers like him. You see,
one of the more garang one, right?
Garang and daring.
Yeah.
And always there to speak up his mind.
Yeah.
So I think being men, we respect an officer with that kind of maturity level where you can easily approach him, talk, And I think like PC Glenn even mentioned, he developed that kind of skill slowly after doing his ICT, right? And we definitely acknowledge that, sir. So, man, this is on the men's side, sir. Side, yeah, it's also good because I think everyone have this inferiority where I don't know whether if I'm good enough to be a leader, right? But as long as we men acknowledge you as our leader, I think that's good enough for you, right?
Definitely. I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, correct. Man, going to about the topic of being matured, right, during the army. Maybe PC Dan, as we know that you went through your army days at that very early stage of your life. Man, maybe you can share this insights about your own experience also. Does maturity plays a very big factor when you enter into NS itself?
Yeah, for sure. I think especially for leadership, like what Glenn said, empathy is a very big part of it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, just in ICT alone, recent years, right? I think one thing you realize is that everyone. I mean, there's a popular saying that everyone is fighting a battle that you don't know. Like on the outside, everyone looks okay, right?
Yeah, true.
Right.
But then, like inside, I mean, especially for commanders, we speak a lot with the men one-on-one, and you realize, wow, okay, this guy is actually, he looks happy. He looks okay.
Yeah.
Actually, he has a lot of issues.
Yeah, correct.
And I think that's where you start to like what Glenn said previously. You start to empathize and you start to think, or you start to discern which individuals you need to give some leeway to. And then, I mean, everyone, I would say everyone has kind of different lives. Everyone has their own issues. So for you as a commander, it's your job to kind of look at and treat individuals. In that side.
Does that skill, sir? Sorry, if I interject. Does that skill require a lot of exposure in terms of you're relating about being there, giving some allowance and a leeway to men who face a lot of issues in their own life? Does that require a lot of exposure for you to reach that level, sir?
I think it probably depends on the person. Like for me, I think it also came probably in reservist time after YD.
I see.
I think NSF time it's a bit, I don't know, I felt it was a bit different. It was more top down. And then after YD, it felt a bit more like everyone is kind of equal.
Yeah.
You do your job, I do your job. I mean, we're all adults. I mean, it wasn't like NSF time. So it wasn't just your own maturity being higher, but it was also everyone's maturity being higher because everyone started to get married, they had their own families, and they started to see NS not like a burden, but more of like, it's just something that everyone has to go through,
through.
right? So just, I mean, try to just go through it together. I mean, make it less, least painful for everyone. Yeah.
And this topic is very interesting to go into, actually, being there for men, right? I would like to say, I would like to pose this same question to Sergeant Adrian. Being there for your men. You yourself is the first, being a first year commander during your active days,
right.
Then transiting into our reservist unit 769.
Right.
Definitely the first year commander, from what I recall, okay, nothing negative.
All right.
From what I recall, they really shape and scale us up to be the men who we are, actually. For me personally. Because if not for my first year commander, like the likes of Sergeant Irfan, Sergeant Chen Chia, right?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Okay, shout out to Sergeant Irfan and Sergeant Chen Chia.
Sergeant Joe also.
Sergeant Joe, that one no need to say. First year, second year, I always see him one. So Sergeant Joe pun, shout out to him, right? So I'm quite thankful that I was groomed under these great commanders, especially like my own SETCOM, which is Sergeant Joe, who's very strict in most of our training session.
Right.
So, and the way they deal men, there's for first year commander.
Oh, that was no joke. That was no joke. We had to come down very, very hard on the.
So maybe you can share us some light on that. Maybe why you tekan them so hard, and then in the end you give them some love. What you think? What we are your girlfriend? Like you have us rabak, and after that you give us all the love.
Strange.
Okay,
but strangely, that's how it works. You see, I mean, when we know that we were going to take a mono, right? There wasn't anything to prep us for this. So what experience could we base this on? So we roll back to CISPEC. So that's how we were treated when we went in. Right? Day one, we're going to get whacked.
Yeah.
Real hard. And I mean hard, right? Really, really hard, right? You could be like when we came in, I remember I remember Go Yongfa. Do you remember Go Yongfa?
Go Yongfa, yeah. You're one of the best men in 84 platoon.
Go Yongfa was at the point in time when I left, when the second year commanders came in, right? I was transiting out. He was my favorite man, actually, to be very honest with you. But if y'all could all recall, when he came in, he was the worst guy any commander would want to have under his care. Yeah. So when we came in, we had a whole bunch of guys. Everyone, some motivated. All right, there are motivated people out there as well. Some totally not motivated, trying to chowking their way out. Even within the first and second week, there was someone who was trying to act crazy, right? Committing suicide. There was one that tried all sorts of crazy stuff. So we had one solution: whack hard, whack all. We don't care. Just whack hard. We have parents complaining. I don't think you would know. We have parents complaining to us up to HQ, and HQ would come down and tell us, "Hey, can you tell commanders to soften on like specific guys because their parents have called in." Then we need to strike this fine balance. Like, are we here to train up like the next generation of soldiers, or are we here to like, take it easy, be soft on them? So we had to find that balance. At the same time, balance the emotions of the soldiers and balance the expectations of our higher command. Because like I said earlier on, specs, we are kind of like the backbone of the entire army. So we need to show results.
If I were to give you some experience, my own experience as a way we can relate to this, what you have mentioned just now. If it's not for during that BMT stage and the advanced infantry training stage, where we go, me myself as men, we underwent a very intensive trainings. Series of trainings, in terms of rifle training, weapon handling, and outfield trainings. I would say if it's not for the guidance from our commanders back then, we will not be able to survive throughout the whole course when we have future missions like battalion exercise, company exercise, because that require a lot of physical and mental strength, you see.
Ultimately, the way we look at it was, we hit the men hard. Firstly, to train up their physical fitness. A lot of their mental mental strength as well. Because actually the mental is to me, I think it's more important than your physical fitness. Right? So when you go through that phase, by the time it's pretty much the end of your BMT, then go into advanced training. That's where you start noticing your commanders going through the motion with you guys. Like it used to be us like dictating, hey, you do this, you do that, right? You run here and touch that and whatnot. Then subsequently we will go into a slightly softer phase where we do things with you. So we were like, probably we'll tell you, hey, 20 push-ups, go. But this time around, we will do it with you. So that is actually part of the phase where we are slowly integrating into our section, because we are section commanders by the end of the day.
Correct.
Ultimately, when it's time to go to Brunei, then you would say, hey, it's strange. Suddenly my commander's doing all the shit with me, man. Why? So that's actually part of it. So we hit you guys hard. We get you guys in shape physically, mentally. Then we integrate ourselves in to lead y'all. That's where at the same time we start looking out for our number 2 guy, which actually is the man. So like what Glenn said earlier on, like men sometimes are not given a fair chance to prove themselves. It's true, I second that, because there are actually a lot of very capable men within Bravo, or I would say 769. It's just that they haven't had the chance to shine. And a lot of it will slowly eventually come up when you go for your first overseas mission. Then that when it reaches there, right, it really isn't about like a commander and men. It's more of like teamwork. We are a team now, you know. I could be your sergeant, right? But that's besides the point. When we're getting something done, sometimes I don't tell you, hey, let's just attack. This is how we're gonna do it. It would actually be now like, hey guys, what do you guys think? Let's talk this through. Will it work? Then we do it together as a team. All right. So I think leadership is really more than just the rank. It's really about grooming, and from there, you establish yourself as a team and you go forward together.
Man, a very good point there when Sergeant Adrian bring up about when men kena 20 push-up, man, he as a commander also, he lead by example. Man, I would like to pose this question to PC Glenn. Man, leading by example, I mean, definitely you as a leader, right? I mean, you have to show that first good role model, right? Correct. And also show that first example for them to follow suit. Maybe you can enlighten us on that part, sir.
Okay, so leading by example. So actually leading by example, this for officer cadets. From day one, when we were cadets, instructors always tell us that. No, but whether we really understand it, I don't think we really understood it until we went to unit. Because you will see different types of commanders lah. The kind who will just give an instruction, then sit one corner, shake leg. No. When the guys don't do well, you just punish the guys, right? But there's no improvement, no motivation. So what we always thought is, okay, you have to, if you're going to lead from the front, you must literally lead from the front. So like, let's say just normal, simple things like 5PX. The DO will always be there at 5:30, you know, waiting for everyone else to fall in. So that's a start lah. You know? And even in the field, for example, my own personal, how I uphold my own standards is I don't put down my LBV until everyone else does. So that's me lah.
Wow.
So it's subtle. I don't know whether everyone notices it, but for me, I make sure the guys are rested before I rest. So these are the small things of leadership. Everyone has their own approach to leading by example.
Is it difficult, sir, to uphold that leadership? I mean, leading men, that's one. Another factor is, because there's an image for you to uphold self, right? Because again, you cannot break down as a leader, right? You cannot be the first one, like you said just now, the first one to be the LBV out, enjoy the food while the man is still there, right? But to uphold that image itself, I think that requires a lot of strength, sir. Can you walk through us?
Of course, if you want to talk about that gold standard, picture perfect, of course, you know, like you have to, the officer has to be the first one there, iron all his clothes, everything, you know, kilat. But the truth is, I think leading by example is not just that lah. That just makes me a very stiff officer. You know, law by law, book by book. Everyone go and starch your uniform, that kind of thing. Doesn't work lah. So when I talk about leading by example, sometimes it can be, okay, this is a bit unorthodox, but leading example may also mean sometimes breaking the rules with the guys. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I know during outfield, light discipline, no one's supposed to smoke. But the truth is, no, sometimes I just like, hey, okay, everyone's not moving. The battalion's halted for 20 minutes already. I'll be the first one to take out a stick.
Yeah.
Like, okay, platoon 4. Take your small break.
Go
That
for
kind of
it.
thing, you know.
Man, correct.
If I'm willing to let them do that,
Yeah.
if anything happens, get caught, I'm also willing to bear the burden. Like, okay, you caught platoon 4 smoking outfield.
Yeah.
Who was the smart guy who gave the order? I would own up. I say I was the first one to take out a stick. My guys need a break.
Yeah.
So I think that's another form of leading by example.
Wow.
To be there through thick and thin with your guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's small things,
Yeah.
breaking the rules. Then of course there's other things like, okay, everyone fall in on time, we are there first to make sure everyone is there. So it's a balance, I would say.
Wow. Man, definitely the pressure of being an officer, like also spec like a commander, a section commander, it's not something that you can develop within an overnight skill. Right? It's not a skill that you can develop within an overnight. Maybe for PC Dan, right? For you yourself, run through with us maybe your first experience bringing out your platoon out in the field, right? How does that experience feel, man? And that weight of pressure being put upon you, being an 18 years old back then.
The first experience with Platoon 5.
You can recall, sir?
I think so. Was it
I
the
can recall.
was it the flag exercise?
Yeah.
The flag exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we played with the laser.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, it was quite okay. I mean, obviously there's a lot of pressure for you as a commander for your first mission. But when you go through it, I think a lot of it is generally very adrenaline driven or very
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
just go with the flow. And I think one important point also is to, I mean, as a PC, is to have a very good relationship with your specs. I mean, like Agent said, they are the backbone of a whole army actually.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's not just about understanding your men, but also having quite a good relationship with your specs, understanding how they work, make them understand how you work, and as long as you have a mutual understanding, and I think as long as they are willing to work for you, and of course the specs are a lot closer to the men, right? Because
the bonding that they have.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think half the battle as a PC is won when you have your specs working for you. And thankfully, I think my specs and me had quite a decent working relationship during active time. So yeah, that helped.
For me as men back then, even you can ask any man from Bravo company, the thing that we look up and we assess a PC by his true nature of leadership and also skills is the time when he navigate us in the field.
It's not just a man, the spec as well.
Thank God, man, you enlightened me on that also.
Yeah.
Because definitely that is the part where I myself, man, would actually give a gauge on my PC. You know, how well can he lead us to the objective? Yeah.
Right.
And if we are confident by him leading us in that such manner, man, we are ready to fight anytime for him. Because at the end of the day, men do not want to feel demoralized walking, kena holan or go there, go here, go up, go down. Ayo, this one really troublesome one. No?
Yeah, man.
Until we check, got no more energy to fight. And we reach the FUP, how to fight, sir, how to fight. But in the end, right? That is the factor for us men to access a PC. Maybe PC Dan, maybe you can give us some enlightenment on that. Not how pressure is it is for you to lead men out in the field.
I think it's a lot of I mean, of course, especially for Bravo, we were the point company, and I was also the point platoon on a lot of. It's either me or platoon 4, right?
Rotation,
Platoon 4.
We're always rotating.
Platoon 4,
you guys
is it?
rotate.
Yeah, I think
So there
Platoon
was
4
a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I think there was one particular moment I remember the most. It was the night walk of battalion mission,
Okay.
and I think was it the chief of army that was following us at one time. This was
Wow.
during the
Active days.
lah.
Yeah.
So that was particularly nervous because you know that there was a high-ranking officer behind you,
Wow.
and I believe I was a point that time. I mean, platoon 5 was a point,
Yeah.
and the night walk. I remember that one we got Holland. And that was very demoralizing because number one, and I mean, night walk is very tough.
It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so that one is that was one very tough moment lah. And eventually we found a way. But yeah, being the point can be very stressful. I think as time went by, yeah, it got better. You got the hang of it, and I think generally all of us got used to being, the point company and the point platoon. So eventually there was a lot of planning that went through the routing all the way to the objective. And like you said, for the commander, a lot, 80% of the job, right, is bringing you to the FUP.
Yes, correct.
Bringing you to the objective. And then from there, it's more the specs and the men. It's all auto, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So it's a very important part, and
it's not easy,
It's not easy.
Definitely this is something that we can also open up this discussion to specs. Okay, one thing that I can relate, okay, Sergeant, is that when things go south, when you are out in the field, when things go south means Holland or something happen lah, something really bad happen. So the first thing men will do, right? We will complain to the commanders first. Sergeant, why 3 hours already never reach FUP leh? Why? How long more? So again, me as man, right? I will not go straight to the PC and say, sir, what are you doing? No, man, that is out of the line. The first line for me to complain will be our commanders. Okay, Sergeant, how do you deal with this kind of situation, Sergeant?
You just sometimes in the army shit happens, right? You can't just right at a point where suddenly you're all okay, high new, and you start complaining and say, hey, is it Holland or did this officer bring me Holland? Sometimes it's really not the case. Sometimes you never know, you bump into a terrain that wasn't there on the map, or something like a fallen tree or something. So
something unexpected lah.
A water body or swamp or something like that. Yeah. So how we normally deal with it is, guys, you know what? Just take it as a break. Just do your high new. Yeah. Drink some water. Yeah. Take a break. We'll try to. Then we'll go to the front and try to find out is everything okay. We'll come back. And we'll disseminate information to you guys lah.
But sometimes the information that we receive back is it can't pacify us. You see,
correct.
We still complain, Sergeant. Why that?
Correct.
You have men like that,
Right. That's where definitely we have all sorts of men. So that's where we actually sometimes we have to come in and show you guys why we are going through things with you, good times and bad times. You are not
true.
So I will always tell my guys, the HQ guys, because especially we're 84, so that thing we carry, right, it's really no joke.
Yeah,
it's really no joke. So every time when there's a stop, a halt, a high new, right, wow, jialat. So how we train our guys is, you're not in it alone. You look to the guy to the left and right. We're all doing it together. So just soldier on. It's no big deal. We'll get through it.
Yeah.
So once you have that in your mind, you just take it as a break, a short break. That's okay. Yeah.
To possess that high level of mental capacity for you yourself, Sergeant, I think for us men it's easy because why? We just complain, receive information, we complain again, never get anything. Okay, we shut up. We will just tend to, okay, like when you work customer service, you send in a complaint request, nothing happened, and you send in a second complaint request, nothing happened. Okay, that's the ultimatum, right? Same like us men. We just keep on complaining, maybe for a good reason.
But I don't know if you as men, do you notice initially, right, at the early part of active days, of course, there's all the complaint. But as commanders, I don't know if you guys observe, but on the spec level, we do observe outfield after outfield and reservice after reservice, right? The complaints actually died out.
Yeah, true.
No one complains anymore.
Yeah, true.
Because at that point of time, you're already integrated into a team, right? Like you literally know all my bad habit and I would know all of yours.
True.
Like when like shit hits the fan and it goes all over the place, we're like, it's just another episode. You just wipe it off and
you want to know why? Because we men have already seen a lot of that traits from our commanders. The good traits, you see. And this is being men because we understand ourselves and our role vividly, what we should do as men. And for us, we just like in the last episode, right? We have Corporal Abdul Hafiz mentioning about testing water.
All right.
Okay, testing water.
Happens, of course.
Okay, but our way, like for my way or most of the men, right? We would definitely test our commander.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's where we complain. Sergeant, why cannot like that? This one, how? Why Holland? And keep on complaining. And we want to see how you react actually.
How we react, huh?
Yeah. See whether you yourself, ya Allah. Yeah, I don't know what this PC, don't know what he do. Just want to see how you react actually. But when you react positively, definitely, and you show us the mental capacity of you being a commander, that really much like, wow, now I feel it.
Sometimes it's case to case, like what Glendon said earlier on. There's no, I mean, we are all human beings, right? Commander or man, officers, whatnot. Sometimes you know your guys really need that smoke break, for example.
Yeah.
You've been Hollanding like the 101 time. Then you're like, guys, just go ahead.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. You know what? Just go ahead. Someone said, hey, you know they've been high kneeling for the longest time. You see that shiver in that leg already. Or that guy beside there telling you, hey, Sergeant, I cannot carry that 84 anymore. You just have to break the rules sometimes.
Yeah.
If you need to sit.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't carry your weapon, pass it on to your buddy. If not, I'll carry it for you. And if we work as a team, then that way you things get easier. Like the night mission, sometimes when you're doing point for night mission, night walks, it's so slow and grueling and hot and humid and whatnot.
Correct.
It's already as torturing as it is, right? How can you improve it? Like for the officers, they really have to lead, they have to focus.
Yeah, true.
Right, they can't like, be going to if they really want to go to every man, how many men must they go to?
Yeah, correct.
Right. So that's where it's what Sir Dan said, 80% of time the battle won if your commanders are already willing to do it all for you, autopilot, right? So one officer down to a few specs, that's where we control our guys. Yeah, so
wow. Man, speaking about this, definitely you yourself also went through a lot of pressure moments during your active days. Maybe you want to share some experience of yours?
When it comes to pressure.
I mean, that kind of pressure, leading men, at the same time, you know that you have to perform. If not, more complaints will come in.
Yeah, I think the best example is like what Dan said, because between platoon 4 and 5, we are always taking turns to
lead
the point,
point for the battalion. And of course, there's always pressure to get it right.
Yeah.
And there have been moments like from the start line, I already took the opposite direction. I went totally wrong.
Really, sir?
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't notice.
Is that intentionally, or you have you gauge it wrongly, or what?
Truth is, it's a mistake.
It's a mistake.
In the middle of night, you can't tell north from south sometimes.
Wow.
Between the map, the compass, everything.
Well, not easy. Not easy.
Yeah. So, because so how do you recover from it? So sometimes I just very thick skin. We've walked already 800 meters to a kilometer on the road. Then I'm like, alamak, we're going the opposite direction. I just, okay, everyone hop. Then I just comes back. OC or like, okay, hey, OCV took the wrong direction. I need to do a U-turn. Okay, don't care. Just move. No, sometimes I think part of being a leader is like you acknowledge you will make mistakes. You'll never be perfect. Then you move on because it's just the start of the mission and you don't start beating yourself down so early. If you lose your confidence at the start line, then how will the rest of the mission go?
True.
Then so those are one of the moments of pressure, trying to get it right from the start. Then as you know, missions always never go according to plan.
Yeah, true.
So you navigate halfway, you meet an enemy. Enemy force.
To second that, it's really not easy being point for them because like for the 84 we are always attached to point section, right? As the anti-tank, so we get to see like firsthand what the point guys do. And I tell you, it's really no joke because you are trying to get your direction right. At the same time, something you're bashing, you have to take cover and whatnot. Then suddenly randomness happens. This opponent, this enemy comes out.
Straight away you have to switch to tactical mode already.
Right.
Understand?
So they are always on their toes. So being first, I got a frontline seat. I see how they do it. It's not easy.
True.
I have to tell you, it's not easy.
It's something that I think some people out there who never went through army who cannot relate, because it's for those listeners and viewers who are viewing this and listening to this, it's something that I think you all need to understand the dynamics of how the army works, and not just understand how the dynamic works. Right, it actually also boils down to how it actually is on site, on field, in the field, right in the field. It's something not easy actually. If you ask me, we men, yes, we just follow, but yes, we feel the intensity, right? Is also boiling up to our head. What more to the PCs? What more to the commanders, right? they are also feeling the heat, but again,
They can't really show it.
they cannot show it, and they have to go forward, like PC Glenn mentioned. Man, suck it up, man. Let's move forward. You know, man, that shows a lot of character lah. It's not easy.
I think the other thing is something about leadership is you try to care for all your guys, but you also need to realize sometimes you can't make everyone happy because Soldier A today wants to book out. Soldier B says he's not feeling well tomorrow. He doesn't really feel like training. No.
Yeah.
And if every 20, 30 plus soldiers come to you each with a issue.
Excuse,
Yeah. No, some you can tell some are genuine, some are borderline trying their luck.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, sometimes you have to also look at the bigger picture, no? And you can't always be the good guy. Sometimes you just have to be Mr. Unpopular, and say, okay, I'm not going to take any more book up requests.
Yeah.
The next 3 days, it's an important 3 days training.
Yeah.
I'm not going to entertain anything. If you're not happy, well, that's just too bad lah. Because we're all here to serve this 1-2 weeks. Get out. If you want to play hardball, then that's where we also have to play hardball. So of course, there's been occasions lah where we had to take slightly more harsher stances against certain soldiers. So then because you still have to look after the majority of platoon. If everyone's going through training and 1 or 2 just want to find a way out, that if you fail to acknowledge that, that's also like failing to take care of your guys because it's not fair.
Yeah.
So,
like you mentioned, sir, man, you have to take care of your men, right? No doubt you give that full attention, your full commitment in taking care of your men. But my next question is, if you take care of your men, who will take care of you yourself? Right? Man, that burden that you carry alongside you as an officer. Also later I will pose this question to commanders, right? Being there for men, being empathy, out in the field, you're always taking in the pressure, let the men not feel the pressure. But at the end of the day, who's going to take care of you? Man, you also at the end of the day also a human being, sir.
I think within the command group, at least for Bravo, I know the officers are all quite bonded. So in that sense, then other than that, we also talk with the guys, the specs. We also share our problems with them. So
you need an outlet.
Yeah, sometimes we just talk to them. Even just talking, not about problems, but just having a regular chat helps us to
ease off your mind,
the stress. So I think that helps. So I think that's the special thing about Bravo. Everyone's very bonded. We can talk to each other outside of training. We can talk to each other as equals. And then suddenly I don't feel like I'm just that PC shouldering everything. I'm just another guy sitting there having a soft drink and smoking with you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
Then it helps. That helps a lot.
It's something that lift off that burden.
Right? I'm just another guy. Then I don't. We don't have to feel like wow.
Yeah.
So much burden.
You know that kind of pressure will just keep on accumulating. Maybe for you, sir, PC Dan. Maybe you want to share some insights on that. To care for your men, yes, that's true. But definitely when you yourself undergo all these kind of strenuous activities during your army days, right? Definitely it's not easy for you as an individual. And now you yourself as a father, right? You yourself already married and have children. You know that this is something that you have to go through, which is NS. Then after your reservist, ICT, you coming back to your family members. Definitely that also shift a lot of comfort to you. Like going back to your family members. Maybe you want to share a bit of your journey experience, how you deal with that pressure.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely there. But like what you say on family, it is quite a big support. And I think for me personally, one thing that keeps me going is pride. Not pride as in boastful, but pride as in you are really proud of what you are doing.
Yeah.
Of serving the army.
Yeah.
Some people might see it as a chore, but for me deep down, I'm really proud whenever we get called for ICT.
Yeah.
We wear the number 4, come to camp, and spend 2 weeks, meaningful 2 weeks. So for me, it's a lot of number one, having your heart in there, and knowing that you are serving your country. As corny as it sounds, I think a lot of people probably feel the same way. So I think just for that feeling alone, it really keeps a lot of people going. That's it.
Man, I can second to that, sir. Man, feeling the pride to serve our country. During my active days, definitely I feel that. I feel that, man, as a young individual, I find myself very highly motivated in certain ways lah. During my active days. And I have this mentality where whatever that I do, I have to excel. So that means if I don't excel, at least I will fall short to become like, good at it. You see? So that's the mentality that I shaped during my army days. So and being there alongside with my commanders and my officers, definitely it helps me to see army in a very different way also. And then after that, we transit to reservists, 769 SR. We start to mature. We see each other as a family man. We see each other as friends. Right after we have already. That means when we are outside, we see each other as friends. That itself really helps me as my person in my personal development as a human being. You see. And I know being an officer, you yourself, sir, it's not easy because you need that kind of comfort outside. Man, how does your family support you during your active days? Are they say, okay lah, let Dan learn himself lah during his active days? All the pressure, let him take it lah.
What way? You mean
your family support, during your...
I think active time, it wasn't so much of an issue lah because it was full time, right?
Yeah.
I think right now, it's probably like the little things because when you go home, obviously your family knows. I mean, for me, it's my wife and my kid lah. My wife knows I'm very tired.
Yeah.
And I mean, the first thing she will do is cook me, a nice meal.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's the little things that shows, okay. I understand you were out there. Tough 2 weeks. So I mean,
it is really tough. Okay, that 2 weeks of ICT definitely is tough. Very strenuous to your mind and body. Definitely, I can understand, sir, why you need that kind of let out. So actually, food also one way for us to actually pleasure ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Really, I mean.
The little things, right?
The little things,
yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely. When you come back home after long ICT, you need that kind of break. Maybe you go out with your girlfriend, go out with your loved one, go see a movie, catch a movie or what, just to put your whatever that have happened during ICT.
Just to unwind.
Yeah. Unwind, yes, that's true, Sajan. Man, you yourself, Sajan, how? Man, definitely you yourself also undergo that kind of pressure, being a commander. And it's not easy when transiting to be in the green uniform and after that going back to civilian. Man, do you have any kind of ritual that you do or not? Man, in and out.
Personally, I look forward to reservists.
That's nice.
It's because I know I'm going back to a bunch of... I'm not going back to this bunk. I know I'm going back to the guy on the left and the right of me. I know I'm going back to a bunch of brothers which I could just... I could talk about anything and everything. So I look forward to reservists. So going back to me is not something that I dread or I detest. No. So I'm actually very motivated to go back. Like what Dan said, sometimes you could be so shacked out, but pride in a positive way. Yeah. Pride to perform, pride as an individual, or pride for the section or the platoon or your buddy. That keeps you alive, you see, keeps you going that extra mile. So but of course, reservist is tiring physically because for an entire year, you're in your civilian life, you're probably not training as much as you should be. Yeah. Right. So suddenly you go back, you've got your IBBT, you've got your outfield, you've got your whatnot, and you're so tired. And yes, I do agree. Family plays a very important part in this. My wife and my kids, after reservice, I go back. Sometimes I'll just sit down, I'll just stare at my fish tank. And they know. They come over and say, how are things going,
Are you referring to the fish or what? The fish come to you and talk to you, is it?
Perhaps. I should observe the fish on the next reservice. But So family support is very important. So be it a hot meal, be it just sitting beside you and chatting with you to see how your week went, stuff like that. Yeah. So there's support in camp from your guys, your officers, your men, whom by now are already your family, your best of buddies.
Yeah, true.
So you've got this good bunch right there, and you've got your wife and your kids or your family back home. All's good.
For you as a spec, right? Do you have a close relation to other sergeants or specs? Like definitely, I mean, ever since you were in the first year commander of 4SR and that, definitely you develop a friendship, a very close friendship among
unbreakable. I tell you, it's unbreakable.
Maybe you want to share some light on that, Sergeant.
So I wouldn't write off the earlier part of the NS journey, your BMT and command school, because there you would have a bunch of friends. They're close, but the bunch in the unit, I tell you,
it's everlasting.
It's everlasting bond. Yeah. You go through everything with these guys.
Maybe just for a shout out, maybe you can name a few.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe name the whole bunch. There's so many.
My entire HQ team would not have done it without them.
Yes,
very supportive. Immediate commanders with me, like Vincent, Zizong, the officers, like my 2 ICs. I had the privilege of having two ICs as Yufeng. Right. So Yufeng, then I think he's got some medical issues. So then we got Zach parachuted in. So Zach's amazing. Another one where he doesn't even need to command respect with his rank. Like he literally does stuff with you, and you look at him and like, okay, this guy is one. We can chung with him, right? And of course, more importantly, like the boys that are with us, right? So years where you don't go back and suddenly you go back for reservice, you probably don't even need to tell them, hey guys, get this ready, get that ready. You just go there, hey, come, let's go. Yeah. They've got all their stuff. They know what to do. Right. So yeah. So that's just HQ. But of course, overall, I don't know how you guys feel, but personally, I feel that Bravo is like
a family.
We're a family, and we're probably the most outstanding one out there. We're like crazy.
It's pride, man.
Yeah,
for me, it's pride. Yeah.
It's pride in a positive way to tell people, hey, I'm from Bravo Company.
Yeah, true.
Right. So the toughest missions always go to us, I guess. I don't know.
True.
Yeah. So
and the most garang and the strongest also of men and commanders and officers come from us.
I would like to think so. Yeah. Like personally, for us in HQ, like the 84 team, I think we are the only 84 team left in the entire 769.
That's intact.
That's intact. Yeah. So that's the amount of pride we have.
Wow.
Just to share a little secret with you guys, we actually have this agreement in the 84 team. Like if no one like downgrades, like none of you are ever, if like none of the commanders downgrade, none of the men downgrade, right? You will not see another member of the 84 team downgrade. Yeah. That's why you see even when we go outfield, Paisafu? Paisafu, theoretically, he doesn't need to go outfield, but all the time he's outfield with us. Why? Because he has that, we have
feeling,
that pride.
That sense of belonging to it.
For the team. So we are always out there together.
Bai Sifu. Wow.
Even Naren.
Oh, Sergeant Naren. Yeah.
Right? Even PS Naren is not supposed to be out on the field.
Yes.
But he's out there all the time. Yeah. So that's the kind of positive pride that I think, the kind of bond that we build with our officers and our men.
Yeah.
That drives us to excel when doing reservice once a year.
Wow. Yeah. Man, talking about Bai Sifu, man, he is one of the strongest men from Bravo Company. Yeah. Strongest, when I say strongest, not just physically. He is physically strong.
Yeah,
and
without a doubt.
Shout out to Bai Sifu if you are listening and viewing this. I mean, he is physically strong. At the same time, he is mentally strong.
Super, yeah.
Mentally strong. Yeah. Definitely, we men of Bravo Company, we seen each other countless time during active days and also reservice days. Definitely, we know each other in and out lah. In a way, I can fairly say that we can know each other in and out. We are close to each other. No doubt, we come from different. Like you come from 84 platoon, I from platoon 5. You see Glenn from platoon 4, and no doubt we come from different platoons. But we, Bravo Company, we gel as one.
As a whole,
correct.
Right.
There's one uniqueness, sir. Maybe you can explain to the viewers and listeners, this uniqueness of this, army bonding that you see within us, this Bravo Company.
Okay. I think okay, just to be a bit more fair, I think the other companies in 769 are also great.
Yeah, true.
But,
Yeah.
True.
I think where we are slightly different is because number one, most of our guys stayed on throughout since active days until ICT days. Because I understand some of the other companies have a lot of new members coming in during different stages of ICT. So possibly that's one reason maybe they don't feel responded.
Yeah.
And likewise, their commanders also came in at a later stage. So there's been some turnover for their PCs, everything, their OC. So perhaps that's why Bravo feels more bonded because we've pretty much seen each other since day one.
Yeah,
and
correct.
we have a history, Bravo. It wasn't always the best. At one point during active days, the company was close to collapse. We have no OC. We only have one.
But you used to be you step in as OC, right, during our ICT time.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we were gone year 2.
No.
When?
No, during ICT.
Oh, ICT. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, PC Glenn take up that OC role.
I recall that.
And then I heard from our men on the ground. This is what I heard from the men on the ground. Man, shout out to our own PC Delroy. Shout out to our OC. Sorry, OC Delroy. Sorry, shout out to our OC from Bravo company. OC Delroy. I think he was away, right?
He was away.
Due to some work.
Yes.
So you have to step in. And men, definitely men being men, right? They say, wow, we have one cool OC lah. This ICT with tattoo lah, power lah.
That's like the biggest validation. Right.
No, like because men can relate to you, right? Definitely lah. Then seeing you, now PC Glenn become OC lah. Step in lah.
It was a privilege lah. And also the other, in terms of history, I think other than ICT days, during our active days, there was a period we also didn't have OC. I think it was Captain Johns. He left. Then after that, it was Captain Justin Zhu who left as well. So we were down to a 2IC, Captain Calvin. And our in-check also at that point was like, I think he had some medical issues.
Which in-check was it in year 2?
CSM SIM.
Oh yeah, in-check SIM. Yeah.
So the company was close to collapse at that point actually. And we were the worst performing company in whole of OSL. Even I think up to the point of ATEC. A lot of people, I don't know whether you heard this, but in the command level, a lot of people were blaming Bravo for our unit's failure during ATEC. So in a way, I think that helped bond us together because in a way, it's us against the world. Every time something went wrong, it's because Bravo did. Bravo. Bravo make us fail, blah, blah, blah. So I think that helped us bond during the ICT days, the subsequent ICD sessions. Then we slowly from there, because of the bond and everyone starts to have understanding of each other, we managed to do things better.
Yes.
Then we went from strength to strength, and that's why we turned out to be such a close and better performing company at the end of our ICT.
Wow.
So it was the bottom first before we slowly climbed.
We hit the rock bottom first before we can scale up the mountains.
Kind of like Liverpool.
Liverpool.
I had to add that in.
Alamak, sir, you are sitting next to a GGMU. But never mind. Hats off to Liverpool lah this season. Man, they deserve it. They deserve it. Okay, just to close our session, definitely most of our viewers and listeners out there will want to know, right? The unit of 769 SRR will end their journey in their army course of career, I would say. And the likes of us definitely will not see each other that frequent lah. Much frequent, and we will not be seeing each other in number 4 anymore, and with LBV and weapon on and camo on. So definitely, next year, you are going to MR, right?
Correct.
Am I right to say that?
Right.
So give us some insights on that. Maybe I start with Sergeant Adrian. Maybe to give us this closure, maybe, and how does it feel for you? Even though it haven't happened yet, that MR event haven't happened yet, but how does it feel for you knowing that it's going to be the end?
Just thinking about it, even before it happens, you actually feel kind of, it's like a happy, sad thing, you know what I'm saying?
Mixed emotion.
Yeah, because you're glad that you're finally done with NS. But you're definitely saddened because you'll no longer go back once a year.
Yeah.
Be in that bunk with your bunch of guys and just talking about anything under the sun, you know.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's kind of even some people say reservist is a little holiday of its own.
Yeah, true.
In its own right.
True. Yeah.
So I would miss that. I'll miss the bond. I mean, of course, outside we could always hang out with the guys in civilian life. But it's gonna be very different when you're like in uniform and in camo out in the field. It's something that
Unique.
it's hard to explain to you. You need to experience it yourself.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
When you are out in the field, seeing beautiful sceneries of the jungle, hearing birds chirping, you know.
It's true. The previous ATAC mission was pretty good. When we started off in the night, it was stars all over the place and just
It's like a romantic scene, but next to you is your buddy. Oh lama, cannot do anything, man.
Like you wish he was prettier, but
So yeah, it's a unique experience that I'll miss definitely. Yeah.
Okay, for PC then, how is it going to be like for you, knowing that it's going to be the end for you? Not the end of your life, just the end of your army career. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a good kind of closure with ATAC 2.
Definitely.
Because I mean, I think the active unit ATAC result was quite a stigma on 4SR as a whole. And yeah, maybe I mean I don't know, like Glenn said, a lot of it, I mean Bravo probably got a lot of the
heat.
got a lot of the heat for some reason or another. So for us as a company, going through that second ATAC successfully and also winning like best company, so I think it meant a lot for the company. It was quite full circle for us. Like
so during the second ATAC, we won best company.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So I think that whole part of your life, I mean, going outfield, you're never gonna experience that again ever in your life, right? And I think I mean, even though it's shagged like crazy, but being out there, the experience is like no other. I mean, there's no other place you can experience it. And as tired as you are, you would never change anything about it. Once you look back at it, right, you say, okay, this is a part of our life that you will never forget. And of course, like for me, I will miss the whole company. I'll miss my platoon. I miss all of you guys. But yeah, we can still meet up. But I mean, there's the experience that you will never go through again.
Yeah.
So that's the part that of course you miss.
Wow. Well, I see my own PC very emotional. I'm also already like go into tears already. Very, very emotional, very touchy. Okay, for PC Glenn, maybe you can give a whole summary and a closure for this.
Yeah, I think if I have to summarize it in one sentence, I would just say it's been a privilege.
Wow.
It's really been a privilege to have served the last 15 years. No, not just as commanders, men, but in the end, like Adrian said, we all become brothers. We become something else other than just rank, and all that kind of hierarchy. So we've learned a lot from each other. So
True.
It may be sad that it's ending, but it's gonna sound cheesy, but that's what makes the memory sweeter. So that's something we'll cherish forever.
Definitely.
Because it came to an end, but we had this really, really good run over 15 years.
Wow. That short, sir. Anyone to add on? Or anyone you want to thank or anyone you want to give credit to, man?
Honestly, I mean, okay, I'm going to be biased, but I have to really thank Platoon 4. Because I think they helped me grow as a person. I hope in my own little way, I've also changed a bit of their lives.
Definitely, sir.
Because I remember when we were active days, one of the brigade commanders told us, if throughout this entire period, you can just change one person's life for the better, you've considered to have won the battle. So that was something I hope I've achieved these last 15 years. Positively impact someone's life in my platoon.
Wow. Yeah. Well, your story more of kind of like a more uplifting and more very motivating kind of story to share with our viewers and listeners. Definitely, man. Me myself as man, we really look up to commanders with great values, man. Because not just their rank that they are holding, man. At the end of the day, this respect, like Sergeant Adrian mentioned just now in the earlier part of our podcast, the respect has to be earned. Likewise to the men, if they want respect to be earned from their commanders, they have to work. They have to show how well they are out in the field as men. So for me personally, I have a very very mixed emotion also lah regarding on this topic. Even myself now is no longer active with you all. Even the last attack, I never really join 769 Bravo company. But when I've given the chance again, right, to be part of this experience, I would do it.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because due to medical things right now, I cannot be part of this whole experience. But if I used to be as fit as before, definitely, yeah, I will put my heart and soul in whatever thing that we venture out there, out in the field, man. Because we men of Bravo company, we have this mentality. We fight for the man next to us.
Yeah, that should be the case.
Right?
Yeah.
We fight for the man. We fight for our buddy. You know, like our last session, like me and Rafino, you know, and Heikel, the three of us, we have a very unique bond as men.
Definitely.
And a lot of people might say we outshine some of the other men, right? But no, actually, it's not about limelight. It's more about hyping up, giving that hype, building that hype. You see,
that positive hype rubs off
everyone.
Yeah.
Even the commanders.
Yeah. So
also it does give a positive effect to you as a commander.
Like, any road march or what, any group activity, everyone looks to Rafino. We're all waiting. We're just waiting. Hey, can Rafino please do something now?
Rafino, if you're watching this, okay,
pressure.
PC Glenn is giving a shout out to you.
We just don't want to say like, hey,
cheerleader.
Rafino, just rah-rah
just
them
do it. Right.
We also need a bit of morale boost.
I see. Okay, it's been a very fruitful session. Oh my, I really treasure this beautiful podcast experience with Sergeant Adrian, PC Dan, and also PC Glendon. We want to talk more on this topic, but due to time is not sufficient enough. But it's been a fruitful session, and I hope for those young viewers out there, maybe a last one before we close it, give it a close. Maybe all three of you can give a message to our young viewers out there, the positive side of being a leader in the army itself. Maybe I start with PC Glendon.
Okay.
A young for a message to the youth lah.
Okay, for those who are entering army, I think it's gonna be a tough 2 years without fail. But what you make the best of it lah. It will never be easy, but when you finish the 2 years, you realize you survive it and you are a stronger person. And I think there's no regrets.
Wow, it's about character building.
Correct.
Okay, for PC then, message to our youth.
I think probably believe in yourself. You're probably more capable than what you think yourself to be. I think that's what a lot of us learned also.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah, because you always think that you can't do this. But in actual fact, if you really put your mind and soul to it, everyone can do it.
Wow. Okay, Sergeant Adrian, please.
Yeah, I guess what PC Dan says is true. Sometimes it's tough. Definitely 2 years is no joke. There's no two way about it. You can't just say, hey, I want to be excused from army. You can't. So make the best of it.
Yeah.
Because end of the day, you're not in it alone. The guy to your left and right, they're in it together with you. Go through it, learn, you get better, get stronger. And end of the day, you actually look back and you find a lot of very good memories.
Yeah. True.
No regrets, man.
Wow. Wow, true. It's a very special moment, very special moment. So thank you so much. I am really grateful, right, to all three of you, PC Glendon, PC Dan, and also Sergeant Adrian, for coming down today and giving our viewers and listeners your experience, sharing about your wise inputs on this part. I really thank from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for coming down to Seeker Session.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks is not enough, Like last session, I asked PC Zul to belanja me nasi biryani, But this time round, I don't want nasi biryani. I want something more up.
Okay, let's Let's go.
Like buffet or what.
Let's go.
Get PC Grander to belanja.
This is outing on its own.
Okay, to all our listeners and viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, do stay tuned to our next episode. Till then, but before we close, I hope this session will have some enlightenment to our youth, and hopefully we can invite more high-ranking army officials, right, to this podcast to give their input, so that to have better insights on the army itself, right? The dynamics of how a battalion works, right? In terms of being men, commanders, officers, and high-ranking officers. So hopefully this platform can be the purpose of it, right? So without further ado, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you again till the next episode. Signing out from Seeker's Nest, I'm Indra Sahib. See you then. Right?
All right.